Hello friends, welcome to my channel IT Career. So, what we are going to learn today? Today we are going to learn Gcloud. And what is Gcloud? Gcloud nothing but a command. Okay, so it's a command line tool for interacting with the Google Cloud Platform services. Okay, and it allows developers, architects, engineers to perform various tasks such as managing virtual machine, creating and managing projects, and deploying code into the cloud. It is a part of the Google Cloud SDK, which also includes other tools such as Gcloud. So this is nothing but a Google Cloud. Gcloud is nothing but a command line tool, nothing else. Okay. So far in the course, we have used Google Console, graphical user interface, right, to create a project, and then compute engine resources like virtual machines, instance template, and other things, right? Snapshot, images, disk, instance group, everything. We so far used this one. Now it's time to use the SDK to create all these things the same way you can do command line. Okay, it's a graphical. This is graphical, and the other thing is collector based. Okay, so it is command line. So there are two ways you can do. One is using the CLI, and another is, if you remember in my video of 14th lecture, I shown you how to install Cloud SDK into your laptop, right? And using that, I didn't show you how to use that. So this is the one, right? We install in the 14th lecture. So let me open it. This is the Cloud SDK, and we install it, but we haven't used it yet. So now today we are going to use it, and we are going to access all the Google Cloud resources. So basically you can all the Google services you can create using that. You manage using the Cloud SDK or Gcloud. But today we will be specifically doing all the compute engine resources, right? Like all the virtual machine creation, and we'll create one virtual machine, and we'll see, and we'll delete, we'll stop and start the virtual machine, we'll create a disk, and maybe we'll create a snapshot from the virtual machine, right? And we'll experiment into that one. Okay, so let's dive into the practicals. Before that, let me take you to the Blackboard again. So Blackboard. So these are the things we can do in the these are the very basic. There are more than that. So you can, the command is starting with the Gcloud, and next one is, like any configuration related config, authorization related auth, compute engine, container, data proc, function, app engine, pub. So today we are going to just see we are just going to do config and compute. All right, these two things. Now before I move, let me tell you what is the structure of the command Gcloud. Okay, so let me go a little down. The structure of the Gcloud is, it always starts with Gcloud. Okay, command. This is the starting point. Next thing is, you have plus, you have release label, which is actually optional. You don't need to give it, but I'm just putting for your reference. Plus you put component, plus you put entity, plus you put operation, plus you put positional argument. Let me take it little right side. Argument, plus you have flags. Okay, now let us understand what are these. Okay, so if I take an example, let me take a different color. Okay, example, if I take an example, okay, so Gcloud becomes Gcloud, right? So the command starts with Gcloud. Okay, so now release level, it can be alpha, beta, or anything. Okay, so I'm leaving this as operation, I'm not writing it. So next thing is component. Okay, the component is maybe so compute. Okay, compute. So we are concentrating on compute only today. Okay, because we have done only compute engine. So component is compute. And now what is entity? Entity, the entity is nothing but your instances. Okay, instances, or it can be disks. Okay, or it can be snapshot. Okay, plus you have what is the operation. Now what is operation? Operation is your like create. Okay, like create, modify, or update, list. Okay, and then you have positional argument, right? So it can be your VM name. Okay, and then you have what you have, let me take it right, flags. So flags, it can be your suppose your zones and all, right? Okay, zone, sorry, zones. Okay, so now let us understand the command a little better. So Gcloud is just a command, you know, right? I just mentioned it's a command line tool, and this compute is nothing but it is referred to the Google Cloud services. Okay, like compute, app engine. Okay, and like I'm mentioning here, right? All these things are components. And now entity refers to your plural form of an element or collection of the element under the component. Under this component, the plural, it should be always plural. Remember this s, always s, this s will be there. Okay, snapshot, it's snapshot, it will not be snapshot. Disks, okay, always plural. All right, it's a refers to the Google, plural form of the element of the component. So if it is compute, then it would be these things. If it is app, then it would be different thing. App instance, it cannot be app instances. Okay, and now next thing is operations. Okay, so what is operation? Operation refers to the imperative verb form of the operation that to be performed on the entity. So in this entity, okay, verb of the, like, to do the work, right? On this entity, what you're going to do. All right, what action you want to do? You want to create, you want to update, or you want to list the snapshot, or list the virtual machines. Okay, and positional arguments, this one VM name and all, refers to the required and order specific argument needed to execute the command. So this is, so suppose you want to create the instance and then your virtual machine name, which means your virtual machine name you want to create this with the name. And flags, and the flags refers to the additional argument like flag name, value, any argument like zone equal to this, project equal to this, right? So these are the things like like machine type. Okay, so these are the arguments you want to put. So now let us jump in to the practical. So first of all, before moving to compute, let me tell you the getting started one. So these are the two things we are going to discuss. Getting started. So like Gcloud init is the very basic. Once you install the SDK, you just execute this, and but I don't have to do it now. If you want to see the Gcloud version, what version you have, so you just execute Gcloud version. It will give you the Google Cloud SDK. I have this version. BQ is this version code, and Gcloud version is this, and GSA tool version is this. 5.18. And you have to, if you want to install any component in your SDK, you use this one. If your SDK need an update, just execute this and enter. It will take few minutes to update. I just updated it today, so I'm not going to do it. So this command is okay. Gcloud config sat project. What is this? I'm telling you after this one. So Gcloud info gives you the info of your current environment. Okay, so like the SDK you just logged in. So Gcloud info, once you give, it will give you all the, first of all, where it install and all, but these are the main thing. The account I used it, right? The Gmail account, it use it, and which project I'm in. So GCP ACE 2023. If you go to my console also, you'll find the GCP ACE. You can switch between the project, like in the like here you switch between the project, right? So that the instance you create, it will go and build under that the project. In the Gcloud, in the SDK also, using Gcloud, you can change the project. Okay, and how to do that? And let me tell you. Let me go here. So you Gcloud config sat project. So let me show you. Okay, let me show you. These are, so before I show you, let me complete this. So these are the current properties of this session of Cloud SDK. This Cloud SDK connected with this project. So anything I create, right? Any, suppose if I say creation of the virtual machine here, it will go to under this project only, because my current session is this one. Okay, so like if I say Gcloud compute instances, create something. Okay, so create VM. Okay, VM name, if I give, and if I don't give the project name, okay, if I don't give this one, then this virtual machine will go under this project only. Okay, if I don't want the virtual machine to, or the resource under this project, that time I will pass the parameter project equal to, if I choose another project, like this one. Let me go there. So this one, farm. So let me copy it. So farm. Okay, if I do like this, and then the virtual machine will be created under this project. Okay, specifically, or I can change this one to my, the current project, using Gcloud config sat project space, and then put that farm carrier. So let me see updated property. Now if I enter the Gcloud info and press enter, see, my project got changed to farm carrier. Okay, but I don't want to do it. I want to change back to my original Gcloud, GCP ACE 2023. All right, let me recheck again info. Likewise, you can change the project. You can, so another thing, your zone. So your current zone is set to US East. Okay, US East B. Okay, this is zone East 1 B, and the region is US East 1. Okay, so in that case, if you create any virtual machine here, or any resource here, or then it will by default, if you don't give the parameter zone, then it will go directly to the by default to the US East. Okay, so now you understand, but you can change this also similar way. Gcloud config sat, and there are properties compute, like this. Let me check. Okay, let me try Gcloud config Gcloud config sat compute zone equal to, no, in the case of config, no equal to. Okay, so in the let me do one thing. Before I run this, let me find out the zones. Gcloud config zone list, right? Gcloud compute zone list. Okay, so you see that Gcloud, and compute your component zones and list. Enter. I have east 1, right? Let me change it to US Central. Okay, let me change to US Central. US Central C. Okay, let me anything. Okay, so config. Let me do once again info Gcloud. Gcloud config sat compute slash zone equal to, okay, what we have, I'm changing it to US Central C. We have zone West East 1B. All right, so let's see. Oh, I got an error. So what is that? Okay, the issue is there should not be any equal to, I told you before. Okay, in the case of config there shouldn't be an equal. See, it is done. So now info again, it should show me US Central. This should change zone US and instead of East it should be Central 1C. See, it's changed. All right, so it proved. And you can similar way you can change the region also. Okay, so the same command, instead of zone it should be region. All right, like region, and then put the region name here. So I'm changing back the zone back to US East 1, East 1. It was A, right? What it was? B. Okay, it was B. All right, so it's changed. So you can with the Gcloud config sat, you can change the current properties of the Gcloud, your SDK's current environment. So it changed B to B again. So now, okay, let's play with some virtual machines. Okay, so how to create a virtual machine? So let me list the virtual machine we have. So let me go back to the console, this console, and see how many we have. Only one virtual machine listed, right, which is created in US Central A. And let me list it here. So how to list it? Gcloud compute, because it is related to compute component, right? And then entity, instances. Okay, then what I want to do, list instances, always plural. See, SAP NetWeaver US Central A, and it is in this machine type, and same way it is showing me, right? And IP address is, we see that 10.128.0.15. 10.128.0.15. So it's matching. Now let me create one. So to create a virtual machine, it's a big command, long command. It needs several. The creation command is like the instances create, then virtual machine name, like maybe test VM1. Okay, and then several argument you put, okay, like zone, and then and so many things like zone equal to something, and then you put something region zone, and then the image, right? Image. So always okay, all the arguments are starting with the double dash, remember. Okay, and then what do you need? You need HTTP and all. So this is a long command. So instead of, if you want the command, so go back to the console and click on create virtual machine, and you put a name like test VM1. Okay, and choose your desired region and zone, and desired series. Okay, E2 medium, machine type, boot disk Debian. Okay, let it be Debian, I'm taking the by default. And then this is important, whatever the things needed for to create a virtual machine in a console, you just choose them. Allow default access, I need HTTPS, HTTP only, and anything you want to choose here, you can choose, but I'm not making complicated. I want a simple command, So if you go down, you can create it and it will create. We have done many times. So now we don't want to create. There is a button here, equivalent code. Just click on that. It will give you the entire code to execute in the command line. See, command line code. So what you do, either you copy it and paste it in a notepad to read it. I don't want to do it now. So let's do a copy just now. Copy. And this code, if I read it, see, Gcloud compute instances create virtual machine name test VM. This is what I have given here, right? And then you have project, which project zone, which zone you have selected, and then machine type E2 medium. You see the E2 medium, network interface. I mean this network tier premium, and then all the other things we needed like service account, right? Service account we have choose this one, 8927 matching, and then scope this blah 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 other things. Okay, the tags HTTP, okay, server and create disk, all the things, all the other things. So I copied this, and now what I'll do, I'll open a notepad and I'll paste it in a notepad, the command. And what I'll do, I'll just here, what you can do, you can remove the project also, doesn't need, and also zone not needed, because if it is already mentioned, it is already there in my current property. But it is not harmful to put it in a command line, okay? But if you remove also, it's not a problem. But when you put, it means you want this virtual machine to go into that zone and into that project. Why into that project? So that this the virtual machine you are creating, the billing should go to this project and bill to this project, okay? And it is your desired zone. So what I'll do, I'll just put an enter, and we'll wait for a few seconds and it will come back to the prompt. All right, see this? It's saying created. So the name of the VM is test VM1 US Central E2 medium, and this is IP addresses, internal and external, and the status is running. Okay, it will create and it will list you. Now if I go and run the same command, like to list the compute engine instances, compute instances and list, it will give me 2. There is only one already created, and I just created another one, test VM1, and it is in running state. Okay, so this is a way you can access your, you can create your virtual machine. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let me log into how to log in. So another way to find out the command is Gcloud compute, and just put an enter. Okay, let's see what it gives. Okay, see, it gives you what are the options under Gcloud compute. So you have compute, and you have these are the things, you have info, machine type, all the things, instances, compute instances. Under instances, what are the commands you have? Snapshot, instances, images. Okay, all these things are available. So you will get a reference from here. If you have a doubt, just enter into it. So now what I'll do, list, right? So what I said, let me log into this virtual machine is created, right? Now let me log into. How to log in now? Gcloud compute. So how to log in? Remember, I have mentioned SSH, using SSH. Okay, now SSH to what? The virtual machine test 1 dash VM1, not test 1, it test VM1, Gcloud compute SSH test VM. Okay, now it will open in a what is saying? Gcloud SSH test. Okay, it's saying project. Okay, test VM not found. Okay, why it is saying? That's good. Always getting error is a good thing for everyone's learning. So try to understand. I gave it good Google Cloud Gcloud compute SSH to log into SSH to this man. Okay, I'm giving a command to the Google Gcloud to SSH to this virtual machine. Now it's saying could not fetch the resource, saying the resource this under the projects under the GCP H 2023 zones East 1B instances VM not found. So why is saying? Because this virtual machine is in central US central A zone, right? It is in US central. However, my environment right now, it is US East 1, right? Remember? So it is trying to search in your your current environment. So in that case, what you have to do? You have to put a zone. Zone equal to, okay. So now enter. Yeah. So if I show you, it will open in a party like this. Okay. If this test VM df minus h. So you see my all the file system, 10 gigabyte of file system I created, right? And CPU, ls CPU is the command to see the all the CPU details. And how many CPUs you have? 2 CPUs. How many memory you have? Free minus h, it will give you the free memory in the GB. If you see 4 gigabyte, it is not showing 4 always, it will be reduced by some megabytes. So 4 gigabyte total. So what was our virtual machine size? So let me go back here and okay, what was the thing? Yes, 2 CPU, 4 gigabyte memory. It's matching, right? It's matching here. Okay, so that is what there's a way how you access your virtual machine using the SSH, Gcloud SSH. Okay. Now you may ask, okay, why I came here to see the, the series and all, right? RAM and memory, RAM and CPUs, and why can't we see in the same thing in the as we are doing everything in the SDK using the Gcloud statement? Why can't we see our virtual machine information? We can do this like Gcloud. You can list it, Gcloud compute instances list. We can see the virtual machines here, but why can't we see the particular virtual machine, like what is the properties of the virtual machine, right? So we can do that too, like till instances and then describe and then put the virtual machine name test dash vm1, and then you have to put a zone because it is in different zone. Your current property of the SDK is east, right? So you have to put a zone dash dash zone argument, and then put your virtual machines zone. Okay, enter, and it will list you. See that the status is running and all the blah blah things are able, all the good things are showing about the metadata of the virtual machine is showing here. Okay, so you see the disk, all the disk information. Okay, and then you have machine type here. You see that machine type, like now E2 medium. Whenever E2 medium is, we know it, E2 medium is to CPUs and 4 gigabyte of memory. If you take this URL, you'll find the information and all the parameters we have given. Everything you will be find in the description. Okay, now we know how to create a virtual machine and how to. So let me write into the blackboard. Now we know what we did. We learned, we set project, right? We set a project. Second, we change the zone region. How to do that we know now. We know how to list virtual machines. Okay, we know now how to create VM, sorry 5. We know how to access VM using SSH. Okay, and what we just did, we how to describe a virtual machine. We know this. Okay. Now, last, no, not last. There are many things. We'll see how to stop VM and how to start VM. Okay. We'll just see. So how to stop the VM? So first of all, let me list down list. So I have two virtual machines already terminated, another is running, so I'm going to terminate, stop this one. So the command is same. Okay, so till instance it will be stay same, then stop, then just the virtual machine name, stop VM1. It will give me error because it will try to find this this virtual machine in the US East, because my current environment setting is US East, but this is in the US Central. So let me show you the error. Okay, it should show me, enter. So that resource not found, right? So in that case you have to pass an argument. Okay, I'm telling Google Gcloud to go to the US Central 1A, enter. It should now see stop instances VM is stopping now. Okay, now if I go back and in here, it will show me that it is under stop. See that it's spinning already started. All right, so it will take couple of seconds and it will stop the virtual machine. Now one thing I'll tell you, in the Google Cloud or any cloud, one host name. So the host name of this test VM, you can have multiple virtual machine in the same name, but not in the same data center. Okay, in the same data center, same zone, you cannot create two virtual machines with the same name. Okay, but if it is in different, let me show you. Okay, so now what we did, just we stop. We already stopped, right? Sorry, we have to list it. So list, it should stop, it should show me terminated. See, it is terminated, right? So now let me tell you, let me show you. I'll create another virtual machine with the same name, and I'm going to copy paste the same command whatever I executed to create this virtual machine test VM1. So it is the same command. It will be going to create this. It should give me an error that this resource already there exists. See, already exists. However, you can create it in other zone. So let me change it in the Excel file only. So US. Okay, I do not give zone. So if I remove the zone, okay, so it will create in my current sessions, Gcloud sessions resource, right? It is US East. So I remove the zone. It should not give me error now, and it should create the virtual machine test VM1 once again. Let's see, couple of seconds. Yes, it's created. Now let me list it. There should be two test VMs. You see that there are two test VM1 created. One is in east one and one central one. Okay, and now you can say that, oh maybe this is terminated, that's why it is. No, it is not like that, because it is in two different data centers, two different zones. That's why it is created. Okay, so now let me start that other. If you let me remove your confusion. Instances start test VM1. Now think it will go. It should start the virtual machine test VM1. But again, test VM1, it will become. It will be confused, right? Which one is? So right now your current environment is set to test. US East one. So in this case, we're not referring this one. We are referring this one. So in this case, you have to pass the zone. So pass the zone equal to I did not copy it properly. Okay, so copy this one, and then zone equal to this one. All right, so it should start the your central one. Okay, I got an error. Instance. Okay, it's what it said. Invalid value for instance. Oh yeah, zone. It should be double dash, right? So let's see. See, okay. So it is starting the instance test VM1, and on the central US central. So let me. It is assigned the external IP also. You see that external IP always it will be assigned at the time of start. Now let me list it again. I should have 2 running instances. All right. So that's how you create a virtual machine, how to access the virtual machine, how to change the parameters and all. Okay, so now let us play something with the disk. Okay, disk or snapshot. Okay, let me list the disk first. So now the disk will be, instead of instances, it will be disks. Okay, disks list. All right, I should have many disks. So disk 1, test VM1, test VM1, and these two are actually old one. I mean my old system. I don't want to touch these things. And these two I created today in front of you. One is in east, one on central. So, and how you see the snapshot. So snapshot is same way, instead of instances or disk, it's snapshots. I don't have any snapshot right now, so it should show 0, list as 0 items. So now let us create a snapshot. Now what is the command to create a snapshot? So same way, snapshot create. So now what you need to create a snapshot, first of all you should know the requirement. So to create a snapshot you need a disk, right? Or a virtual machine. So let me go back to my console. This should be if I refresh, yeah, you see that 2 running. So now snapshot, if I go and let us copy the command. So create snapshot. Suppose you were giving test snapshot 1, put a description, test for me, test. Okay, now you need a source disk, so I'm putting test VM1. Okay, and then you can have a snapshot type of, okay, and then you put a region US East 1. Okay, let's keep that, and then okay, and everything else I'll keep same. So equivalent command line. So this is the command: Gcloud compute snapshot create. So till here we are done, right? Create, and then snapshot on the snapshot name and which project, and source disk you need to create, and description. Okay, and source disk zone, which zone it is coming from. And then, because why it is important, because we have the same name twice, right? So if you see that, we have I mean that disk 1 was showing 2 times, right? I mean test VM1, test VM1, which one is from which you don't know, right? So you will come to know from here, from the command line. Okay, it is coming from, so this east B. Okay, if I close, if I take this one and if I take region, okay, you see that this is coming from central. So basically you need to put a snapshot name, you need a project, you need a source disk, and yeah, let me copy this one, copy to clipboard and then paste it here. Gcloud compute snapshot create snapshot name, the project name. If you don't give the project name also, it should be fine. My current environment is this project already set. And then source disk is test VM, and description you put anything, whatever you like. And then source disk zone, which zone I mean, so a source disk can be from different zone, right? And storage location, where you want to keep this snapshot. This is your target. So enter. All right, so it will take some time. See, creating GC Google GC snapshot. Okay, let me pause it for some time. Once it's come back, I'll play the video again. Here you go. It is created. Okay, it is done. Now if I do the list again, if I do the snapshot list, it should show me now. Okay, the test snapshot 1, and disk size is 10 gigabyte, and then I have a source disk, I have this, and it's a register. Now similar to way, if I go there, I'll be able to see the snapshot listed here. All right, so this is how you create the snapshot. And similar way, I don't want to incur more cost, so I'm going to delete the snapshot. So snapshot, delete. Now I have to put a snapshot name. Now see what is the, if you put delete, and then it will not give you, you need it need a snapshot name, because there could be hundreds of snapshot you have, right? Which one you want to delete? You should put a argument, right? Your snapshot name you have to put. So okay, and it will following. Now it is asking for a confirmation. Following snapshot will be deleted. You want to delete, yes or no? So you can say yes, and it will delete your snapshot. It will go away. All right. Now if you list again, list 0 item again. Okay. Similar way, if you go to the console, if you refresh this page, it will go away. So now you can do the same way for disk. So it's very easy. If you want to create a disk from any other disk, create disk. So you just need to put the same thing. You need to just take the command line. Okay, so same thing, your create disk, like, okay, let me disk 2, test disk 2, and then description test, single zone is central blank disk, or it can be created from image or snapshot. Okay, I'll create a blank disk, and then so see, this is a commands. So create disk, Google Cloud Compute disk, create your disk name, project ID, what type of disk, balanced, and then the description, size, and your zone, which zone you want to create the disk. Okay, it's very easy. So now what we'll do, we're going to delete the virtual machines. Okay, now before delete, let me stop it first. Okay, so Gcloud compute instances list, first list, and instances stop. For the east one, I don't need to pass any zone, because my current environment is set to zone east. So if I say VM1, test VM1, it will stop my test VM1 in the east zone. All right, let us wait for a minute or few seconds. So you see that the instance is stop in the US East 1. So let me list it and now I'll show you how to delete that. Okay, so similar way, instances delete, and I'll delete the test VM1, the east one. I don't need to write it zone. Okay, it will automatically delete my US East 1B, but I'm just putting, if you put it, no problem, it is a more confirmation, more firmness you have, you'll be having that, you are deleting the correct virtual machine in the correct zone. Okay, so yeah, here it is saying following instances will be deleted. Any attached disks configured to be auto deleted will be deleted unless there are attached disks to another instance or keep disk. So I shown you before, right? You can you have a parameter like keep disk for the disk, right? Now although the it means that if you delete the virtual machine and you can still keep the disk, if those disks are having keep disk parameter set, then those will not be deleted. But in case of this is not set, it will delete my disk. So if I say Y, it will delete my virtual machine as well as the associated disks. Let me see now. Okay, deleted. Now let me list it and see that the EOS East 1B is gone now. And if I list the disk list also, you will see the one disk is gone. Yeah, test VM1 from the EOS East is gone. All right, similar way, anything, any of this thing, like you see that. Okay, instance template, create instance template. You can have a, I mean, similar way, you have a equivalent command line. If you have machine image, you want to create a machine image, it has a command line. Okay, okay, and same thing, instance group, disk, images, instance group create, it has a command line tool. It should have, see, equivalent command line tool. Just click on that, it will give you the associated command line tool. Okay, so that's about it. Now I will show you something else, like similar way, like this is SDK, right? You install in your local desktop. If you don't install also, you have an option to use the command line which is inbuilt in the Google Cloud console. All right, so this is the one, activate cloud shell. Just click on that. It will take a minute, or I mean 40 to 550 seconds. Yeah, it created very fast. In the night, Google Cloud is very fast. In the I mean afternoon, I tried, it took a minute. Anyway, so let me tell you, let me show you Gcloud. Same thing, Gcloud, uh, compute instances list, instance, oh, spelling is wrong, instances list. Authorize. Okay, so it is showing me this instance list. It is showing me this, right? Only one I have, two I have, right? So one is NetWeaver, one another is this. Although it is showing, not showing like in a row, it is showing like this, like a columns. So yeah, so now let me tell you what is my current environment info, Gcloud info. Okay, so it is set to this GC because I came from here, right? I mean, my project is set GCP ACE 2023, and I came from there, so it's already set. And then, what is the zone? Does it have it? I don't see it here. Availability, compute zone, CLS, clear the screen, Gcloud info. So after the project and the current properties are under compute, it should have. So in the CLI under compute, I don't see it. Okay, so in this case, let me check. Okay, if I say Gcloud, okay, let me do one thing. Let me see. Let me copy this and paste it there. Let me create another virtual machine. Okay, let me in this time, I don't prove anything. I'm creating another virtual machine, and it does not have any zone. So let's see where it creates by default. Paste, open editor. If to open editor, okay, okay, here you go. If I execute the command, It will ask me. Okay, so now it is asking to create in a central, US central. Okay, US central A, for instance, for VM2. If I do you mean, I mean, it is giving an option. In this case, it is not, it didn't find in the property, in the current property, neither I mentioned here. So it is assuming, do you want to create in a central one? Okay, it is asking. So I said no, and then it is it said did not print 56 as an option. So 56 was, I think, the US central one. So too many option, 106, enter the list prompt. And okay, so please enter the, okay, now, okay, let me tell you, if I create in Asia South, okay, like 16, enter, it listed all the zone available, and it is asking where you want to create your virtual machine. Because I said no, I don't want to create. I didn't say anything into my command. Okay, neither it has in the current environment, so it is confused. It given me option, do you want to create in central one? I said no. Then it gave me these options. So now you see that it created in Asia. So if I go back, now it is created already. And now open editor. Now I'll go in the terminal. Now let me list it, okay, from here only. So you see that VM2, it's created in Asia South A. All right, so that's how you use CLI also similar way like Cloud SDK. Okay, I exited from there. Now if I go back into my console compute engine, you'll see another virtual machine with the test VM2 is created. All right, let me refresh it. All right, see, test VM2 with Asia South. Okay, so if I do the same way here, now disk, now I need to see the, yeah, disk also you can see here VM2 it's created instances list. And let me try to log in to the Asia South one. Okay, SSH, and then I say test VM2 zone equal to, remember we have to put for argument, we have to, I mean flags, we have to put double dash, and then our zone. So it's saying Gcloud instance SSH. Oh, no, it is not instances. I'm trying to do doing SSH, right? So compute SSH SPM, and then it will open in a putty. You see that? So ls CPU, two CPUs I have, and I have free, I think 4 GB. df minus h is to check the space, 10 GB space I have. So everything is all right. Okay, exit, exited from there. Now it's time to delete the virtual machines. I'm done with the lecture of Gcloud, so it's time to remove the virtual machine so that I'll not get billed for unnecessary, right? This is just for test things. So I'll say Gcloud test. By the way, if I miss something, say I don't prepare any I mean scripting to how to teach you, right, guys? um, I I teach you or show you what it comes to my mind. If I miss anything, I'll cover in my future lectures, but for now I don't see anything I'm missing, but there might be. Okay, test. Okay, so Gcloud, I'm deleting the all the VMs except the first one. Gcloud compute instances, delete test VM2 2. Okay, yes. It's saying not found because it is in the different zone. Either you set the current property to that zone or you have to pass the argument. All right. Yes. Delete it. Let me delete the other one too. VM1 and this is in the central. Yes, central 1 A and the virtual machine is 1. Okay, why? So it's pretty easy, right? But yeah, you can do everything in the console. So everything can be done from here. So if I refresh, it should go away. See, and it is under deletion. All right, it's deleted. So if I refresh here, that should also go. Yeah, it gone. And disk also only 2 disks should show me. Yes, and then snapshot. I don't have anything. I deleted already. Okay. So with that said, I am done with this lecture of how to use the Gcloud in a cloud SDK or CLI. Both the things are same. So if I miss anything, I will cover in my next lecture. And if you like my videos, please like it and please subscribe to the channel. And if you can share with your friends, family, or any colleagues who want to learn cloud or technologies, please refer the channel. And this channel is not growing. I know this is not reaching to the people, and that's the problem. It needs to be optimized. I am not in getting time to optimize it. So if people does not, I mean, this, if it is not reaching to the people, even people could not find my channel IT career. If they search in YouTube, it doesn't come into the, so it will come once it is properly optimized, and more people will see. So my request to you, just share with your friends and let them know that somewhere something is going good and people are there to teach free, all everything technologies. There is another track of SAP going on, and if you want to learn SAP, you can follow that track SAP, and that is very important. If you want to, I mean, if you want to start with your career with a very big ERP software, and I started with a very basic, who already know about SAP and basis and all, they can skip those. But if you don't know anything about SAP, this is the right time to start my lectures. These are very basic, non-IT people can understand. Okay, so with that said, I'll conclude this video with this lecture. Please give a thumbs up, subscribe the channel, share with your friends. Thank you so much. Bye.